Hello everybody, my name is Ray. This is Ray's Nintendo Talk, and today we are having an emergency meeting because Nintendo has just taken to Twitter overnight and announced that the successor to the Nintendo Switch will be coming out within the next year. Now this video is going to be a little bit more casual because I just rolled out of bed and you can hear within my voice that it is very groggy, so stick with me, bear with me. We're going to do an unscripted video here. I'm going to spill out all my thoughts on this, and I'm going to inform you on what is happening so you know 100% the truth. Nintendo took to Twitter about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States, and they came out with this tweet here. The president of Nintendo, Furukawa, he announced that they're going to have a successor to the Nintendo Switch within this physical year. It will have been over 9 years, wow, 9 years, since we announced the existence of Nintendo Switch back in March 2015. We will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the later half of 2024, but please be aware that there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation. Okay, so this says so many things. And if you can't tell already, this video is just unscripted. This is pure excitement, pure madness, but I wanted to make this video to clarify some things and also just to point out why I think this is incredibly smart on Nintendo's part. So the first thing I want to point out here is that they announced a Nintendo Direct for this June. Like, it's kind of getting lost in the sauce per se, but they announced a Nintendo Direct for this June. And one of the reasons that this is such a smart move by them to announce all of this in one is because, can you imagine if like a month from now they were like, hey guys, in 2 days, 3 days, we're having a Nintendo Direct, and they didn't say that the Switch 2 wouldn't be there? Can you imagine how horrible that would end up being for them? Because I'm sure they're hiding all of their best games for the Switch 2. They're currently preparing all of the best games, all of the best first-party stuff that they have for the Switch 2. They're getting all of their games ready for launch. They're getting so many Nintendo Switches ready for launch. They're doing it all. And for them to not come out and be like, hey, this isn't going to be about the Switch, would be insanity. The world would explode. And that was one thing I was kind of worried about when they initially didn't announce the Switch 2 coming soon, because we have basically just been going off of all of these news reports and leaks and just so many things of people saying, you know, the Switch 2 has been delayed internally. It was going to release in late 2024, and now it's going to be coming out in late 2025. And one of these reports had also said that the Nintendo Switch 2 could be revealed in June. It could be revealed in June. So I personally never thought that was going to be true. But for Nintendo to have not said anything, because that's what they love to do. They just love to be weird with PR sometimes and just not say what they're thinking, not say what they're going to do. For them to not have said anything would have been horrible, because they would have announced a Nintendo Direct for June and people would have been like, oh, the Switch 2, the Switch 2, the Switch 2. And now they have avoided all of that. They've avoided all that, and now that Direct can just be what it was meant to be, about the games for the latter half of this year. Okay, so that is the first part of this. The second part of this is the physical year. Okay, so what does the next physical year mean? I have seen so many people on Twitter spreading misinformation. They don't understand what the next physical year means. I will tell you right now. The next physical year means March of 2025. Nintendo's physical years, and just, I don't know if other businesses are like this, but I'm pretty sure it's most businesses, their physical years are from March to March. Okay, so the beginning of this physical year was 2024 March, and it's going to go until 2025 March. So that means sometime within now, as of May 7th of this recording, and March 2025, we will be hearing about the Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is when. When are we going to hear about the Nintendo Switch Successor? I obviously don't think it's going to be in June or July or even August, because June is going to be when they reveal all of the games for the latter half of this year. They don't want to steal the marketing hype that those games are going to procure. Because what would happen if they revealed the Nintendo Switch 2 in like July or August, a month or two after the Nintendo Direct? It would totally take away from all of the games that they're trying to sell to us. Why would anyone want to buy those games knowing that a new console is just around the corner? Okay, now we know for certain within the next fiscal year it's going to be announced, but there's still that leeway for people to go to the stores and buy the games for the old system because we don't know when it's coming out. That is part of the ingenious of this announcement. I was really worried at first that they would just hold out and people would lose hope because the Switch effect, like I talked about in my video on that, has been running rampant for like the last 7 to 8 years, but it has definitely been slowing down, as we can see with this physical report. Because a lot of people usually take out of these reports how the games have been selling, because this is a quarterly release, right? So every quarter, Nintendo comes out with their reports of how their games are doing, how the systems are doing. They update the sales numbers, and the games have been falling off a little bit. I was shocked to find that Tears of the Kingdom is selling only about the exact same amount as Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild is like 4 years older than that game. And I was also shocked to see Splatoon. It's not selling as well as I had anticipated. Splatoon 2 is still selling a lot more than that, and it probably won't ever pass it. Pikmin 4 got a little bit more. There were a lot of different numbers that came out of this, including Princess Peach Showtime, that has sold over 1 million copies in 10 days, which is a great number. It's really great. But I wouldn't be surprised by the next physical report, the next quarterly report, that they tell us that the game's numbers fell off a cliff because the Switch effect is starting to die down. And especially, like I said, now that people know the Switch 2 is coming within the next year, or at least it's going to be announced within the next year, they're not going to want to buy up these old games from an old console. They're going to want to save up and wait for the bigger, better stuff. Okay, so there is one more aspect about this that I'd like to talk about before we finish today's video. Another rumor that the Switch 2, or the Switch Successor, whatever you would like to call it, has been through all of these reports and leaks or whatever, is backwards compatibility. So what is backwards compatibility? Backwards compatibility is when your old games on the Nintendo Switch are going to be able to work on your Switch Successor. That is what the reports are saying. They're saying that you're going to be able to take your cartridge or your digital game or whatever you had for your Nintendo Switch, and you're going to be able to play it on the Switch 2. So this could mean many things. Number one, it could mean that we're getting beefier games from our old games, right? Because this new hardware is going to be able to upscale those games, I would assume. But the best part about that, and the part that I really think Nintendo needs to tell us soon, is it going to be backwards compatible at all? Because if it's going to be backwards compatible, that would encourage consumers to go out to the stores and buy the games even more. Because, like we said before, if a Nintendo Switch 2 were to be announced around the same time as the June Direct, why would people want to go buy those games that were just announced? Why would people care? They wouldn't. All they would want to focus on is the new hardware and the new games that would be on that hardware. But if Nintendo were to come out with another tweet like this and were to be like, hey, we appreciate your support a lot. We wanted to reveal to you that the Nintendo Switch Successor is going to be backwards compatible with your Nintendo Switch games. So don't worry, buy as many games as you like, kind of thing. That would be such a smart move for them, because now you have made all of the games that you already have and all of the games that you kind of want to buy accessible immediately day one on your brand new system. So yeah, that is pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. I might make a follow-up video if I can think of another idea to tie into this, but one of the craziest parts about this that no one's talking about, the Nintendo Direct for June has been officially revealed. Everyone was saying it was going to be in April. I tweeted, you can go check my account on Twitter in the description. I tweeted, I was like, no, it's not going to be in April. It's going to be later. It was right. I was right. So yeah, guys, the Nintendo Switch Successor is coming out. Or I'm sorry, will be revealed, but I'm pretty confident it's gonna come out within the next fiscal year too. I wouldn't even be surprised if they were like, hey, we're gonna do exactly what we did for the Switch 1. We're gonna do March 3rd, 2025, exactly 8 years after the Switch 1 came out. That would be really cool, but I don't understand. I really do think that they're gonna reveal this game post-August, so that's gonna be probably October, November. I don't know if they want to interfere with those Black Friday sales. It might be a December announcement. But what they did for the Switch 1, they announced the Switch in October, and they released it in March, and they had a massive presentation on it in January. And that's another thing that I would like to talk about really quick. I know this is this is definitely unscripted, you can tell. The Switch 1, before it came out, it had an amazing trailer to reveal what the concept was in October, and that got people hyped up. And then in January, they had a massive presentation saying a ton of games that were coming to the Switch, and everyone was hyped. They announced a new Mario, they announced 1-2 Switch, ARMS, Splatoon, all of these amazing games, and they confirmed that Breath of the Wild was going to be a launch title. So they really should do that again, and I might make a whole other video about that, so stay tuned for the January 2017 retrospective. Okay, that is all I have to say to you guys right now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking in with this crazy news here. It came out overnight. It's insane. The Japan time difference, and they just decided, you know what the heck, let's go. So thank you all for watching. Please consider subscribing and liking and letting me know down in the comments what your thoughts are, when it's going to release. Where were you when you saw this announcement? This was insane. I have been Ray. This is Ray's Nintendo Talk, and I will see y'all in the next video. Have a great day.